Hello and welcome back. So we are working our way through some of the course structure for the class, and we're back on the home page, and we're going to go into the content module. Now you can access it either here through the widget or by clicking up here in the breadcrumb trail. So when you go into the content area, Brightspace will display the last thing you were looking at when you went into the content area. Brightspace remembers this. Now it's tied to a browser cookie, so if you're in a different browser or on a different machine than you were the last time, it might not show you the same thing as you were last time. So it's only so there you go. Now, in this content area, we have some navigation menu items up top of this divider line and then some below. So we've already talked about textbook and resources, but we did not talk about table of contents. So that's where we've landed now. So table of contents is basically just a big long list of all the headings for all the different things. So as you can see, we have our textbook and resources module with all of the items within that module. And then we have the content module. Now, the content module is divided up into folders. These are called sub-modules in Brightspace terms, but you can think of them as folders within content. So here's a list of all of the modules, and each one of these modules is for a week of class. Now, again, remember, this is my sandbox class, so I use this for building off all of my semester courses. So it has both a spring break module as well as a Thanksgiving module. They will be hidden from view depending upon which one is pertinent to your semester. Um, Before we get into those submodules, though, I want to talk about these links above. So table of contents we just went over. You can see there are 98 required items within all of the class. 7 are required that you do them in textbook and resources, and 91 of them are in the content. That's for the entire semester. You could click on Syllabus, and it does exactly what you think it would do, and it brings you to the syllabus area. Now, the syllabus is a PDF that's been uploaded into Brightspace. You can view it directly here if that's all you need. Wonderful. If you again prefer printing, you can download this and right here, download or print it. If you'd rather have something local, download or print it, and then you have that. But you want to use these items to do that. You don't want to use your browser information, which you can't see because I have my screen chopped below my browser menus to maximize what you can see. But at any rate, these are the items you want to either download this PDF to have local access or actually print it to get a hard copy. So within the syllabus, there's a couple of things that are important. Now, it's a template. Everybody at UMFK uses the same syllabus template. The dates and stuff, as you know, are just placeholders for this class. They will be updated to correct when you're actually in your class itself, but these important dates will be pertinent to whatever semester you are taking this class in. This course has no prerequisites or co-requisites. Here is a quick description as well as a list of learning outcomes of what you'll learn in the class, and as you can see, those learning outcomes are a page and a half long, almost 2 pages long. It's a lot of stuff. Cover a lot. Talk about the textbook, which I've already done in a previous video. Obviously use Brightspace, and we use Microsoft Office 365, which we talked about already, and you need to have access to a computer. If you're a face-to-face student on campus, you could use one of the lab computers situated in different labs around campus. So owning your own computer is not a requirement for a face-to-face class. It just makes things a little more convenient. And then things like teaching learning philosophy, course policies. So one thing about attendance. So attendance is required, and that means either attending the scheduled sessions if it is a face-to-face or HyFlex class. Remember, synchronous, online, HyFlex class. If it's a fully online asynchronous class, attendance is built off of your discussion board participation. So that's attendance. 30% of your final grade is built off your attendance and participation. Okay, let me repeat that. 30% of your final grade is built off of attendance and participation. We meet Tuesday, Thursday. That's twice a week, 15 weeks. That means every class period is worth 1% of your final grade. You skip a class, you lose 1%. You skip a second class, you lose another 1%. People who are habitually not showing up to class are very unsatisfied with their grade at the end of the semester. If this is an online, asynchronous online, where you're doing the discussion board participation, each discussion board is worth 2% of your final grade. Do not take them lightly. Do not blow them off. They're worth a lot. All right, late work. Somewhere in here it also talks about late work. So my late work policy is this. Due dates are a thing. Due dates are strict. Do not miss a due date because I will not accept work past the due date. I will not accept redos. If you bomb a thing, you bomb a thing. Move on. Do better next. I'm very much invested in the formative assessment model, which is where you do a thing, I give you feedback, you read that feedback and modify your next submission to improve. If you're not reading the feedback I provide for you, that's on you, and your grades will suffer for it. I'm here to help you, but I can't help you if you're not reading the feedback. And the feedback are all in Brightspace in a couple of different places. So it's going to be important that you know how to get to the feedback. Now, as far as late work goes, the deadlines, as you know from one of our videos earlier, is Sunday at midnight. I'm not grading at 12:01 a.m. There is a time delay from when the thing is due to when I grade it. It's kind of a gray zone. I don't feel that it's fair to mark you late for work that you submitted before I went to grade it. As you know, I do most of my grading on Monday. So you are taking a risk by submitting after that midnight deadline. The longer it goes past midnight, the more likely it is I'll have graded the work. Once I grade it, it's locked. I'm not going to accept anything else. If you have some kind of a dire emergency and you need to submit something late, you need to make arrangements ahead of time. And I'll probably ask you, why can't you just hand it in early? So it's very rare where I grant an extension to an assignment, or a resubmission for that matter, because it's just not in my instructional philosophy. So the deadlines are the deadlines. There's a gray zone between the actual deadline and when I grade it, but once I grade it, I'm not going back to it. So keep that in mind. Those are the two big policies that are unique to my course and how I operate. All right. This is the grading rubric for asynchronous online discussion. I don't have a rubric for in-class participation. I just expect for you to engage. And that's really what this grading rubric is for the asynchronous discussion as well. I'm looking for engagement, course engagement. Don't sit in the back of the class with your hoodie drawn over your head, with your legs crossed, your legs out, your arms crossed, with earbuds in, just being physically present in the room. You will not get participation points. I'm going to call on you, and I expect something more than a shrug or an "I don't know, sir." I want you to engage. I want you to listen and participate in the class discussion. And if you don't, the grade's going to plummet. And as you know, attendance and participation is worth a lot. So that's what I'm looking for, is active engagement in the class discussion, whether it be in person, synchronous Zoom, or asynchronous discussion board. Engage with your peers, talk about this class material, and class becomes more fun that way. So that's the goal of this grading rubric. The work for this class, all right, we have categories. I am a percentage categorical grader. So the category of assignments, there are a number of things you do in this class that are categorized as assignments. All of those grades will average together, and that average is worth 50% of your final grade. We already talked about participation. Keyboarding, there is a typing assignment or component to this class. Each week there's something to do typing, there's an assignment to do. All of those combined together equal 10% of your final grade. And then finally we have a capstone. Now, the capstone is 4 components: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and presenting of the PowerPoint. All the 4 of those things together combined to be 10% of your final grade. And that's your grade. Right? 50, 30, 10, 10 is 100. That's your grade. Most of the work, as you can see, the grade comes from your assignments and your participation. The keyboarding is a very small percent, as is the capstone. I don't feel that any one assignment should be worth more than 10% of your grade. One letter grade for one assignment, even though I break it up into multiple components, it's still one assignment. And that's the syllabus. So, the only other thing here above the table of contents area are bookmarks and course schedule. Bookmarks you can set yourself if you want to be able to access something quickly and not have to hunt around for it, like maybe the textbook or maybe the How to Email a Professor. You can bookmark them and they'll be listed here. The course schedule is like the calendar, but it's a list form, right? And it only shows the next 7 days. It's full schedule here. You click on that and that will show everything by date of when things are due. And remember, this is a sandbox class. It's not your semester. This is all wonky. It's all different. But for your class, it will be correct. And that's what the course schedule is. Okay, so the next video, I'm going to talk about one of these content submodules. Okay, one of these content submodules, because that's where you're going to be spending a good majority of your time in class.